Hello everyone, and welcome back for another video. So this morning I found out that Tommy's channel, that one that I linked in one of my videos the other day, is no longer in existence. I don't know what happened. I know yesterday he had a interview with a pretty big YouTuber named Just Pearly Things. Now all of a sudden today, videos, channel, completely gone. I was gonna actually watch the video that he did with her, but apparently I can't because it's no longer there. But what I did find was this gentleman, whoever this guy is, a no-name YouTuber, nobody that nobody probably even knows about, but he had a whole lot to say about Tommy Sotomayor, including some other big names, and I have no idea what this guy was saying, no idea what he was trying to do with this video. None of it made any sense to me. We're gonna go ahead and dissect it though, just for entertainment purposes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started.
This is the Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. I want to start this day off talking about the coons, in particular, Tommy Sotomayor. If y'all don't know, he has an interview with Pearl today. If you with us over here, knowing that we should get reparations, knowing that slavery was just tragic, knowing that all the aftermath of slavery was tragic, then you should be in there giving him the business, and hopefully he'll pull people up so people can talk to him directly.
Okay, this is where I am completely amiss and in disagreement with modern day black people, just like the Karen that we just did a video on the other day who went into Target demanding reparations. Now you got this guy talking about that we still deserve reparations. I'm sorry, but at this point, hundreds of years later, with the complete dilution of the population as it is today, people like myself who are half black, half white, you got other people that are 75% black, 25% white, maybe 25% black, 75% white. There's too much dilution to actually provide reparations. People have no way of proving that they're black anymore other than skin tone and maybe hair texture. But then you would have a plethora of other people, like for instance my husband, who is quote unquote 100% black, but just doesn't really look like it. You know what I'm saying? So it would be really hard to provide reparations as of today in 2023. It should have happened years ago. It never did. It should have happened for the people that were immediately released from slavery, not generations later, people who have had no enslavement, people who have no repercussions of it. Most of those people who dealt with Jim Crow laws and all those other things that came along with racism are gone. They're deceased now. So to demand reparations as of today, it makes zero sense because you didn't go through anything. And anybody that did is probably no longer with us. So what would make you deserving of it just because you're black? Like when you didn't suffer anything and none of the white people today had anything to do with what happened in the past. So, like I said, should it have happened years ago? Yes. Can it happen now? No, because it's too late. And so let's just get that out in the open, okay? But let him finish.
The dude is a clown, man. I'm sick and tired of hearing these dudes. See, I tried to make it my goal. I said, I'm not going to use racism as an excuse, which I haven't. And I didn't want to talk about it too much, but I did because this is the All Subjects channel. We got to improve in these predominantly black communities of ours. But when I saw them and Pearly, what Pearly did and how these guys was trying to justify what she said and her little fake apology, me knowing, see, some of y'all might not see the stuff I say because YouTube doesn't always like let my videos pass into the space on a fair basis. But I told y'all about Midwestern suburban white women.
All right, I'm going to stop him again really quick. She's entitled to her opinion and protected under the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech, okay? So whether or not we agree with that doesn't matter. That's certainly not racist. It's just an opinion. And people have the right to speak their opinion, just like you, sir, can get on YouTube and speak your opinions about people. and try to claim that simply because someone is white and they don't agree with you, they're now racist. See, here's what I don't like about a lot of black people. People misuse the word racism when they really need to just be saying prejudice, because a lot of white people have prejudice, just like a lot of black people have prejudice, where you have prejudgments about people based upon what they look like, based upon their socioeconomic status and things of that nature. But to actually be racist, you have to actually have a position of power in which you are stopping somebody from doing something. And that's just non-existent in 2023. We all have choices that we make that can either lead us to success or lead us down a path of destruction. It has nothing to do with some random deity that you can't see, some white person holding black people down anymore. That happened. Yes, at one point in time, there were white people that owned slaves. There were black people that owned slaves. There were other races of people that owned slaves. And they weren't just black. They were white slaves. There were Native American slaves. There were Chinese and Japanese, and all kind of people were enslaved. But what's highlighted in America is the black slavery, because that was the majority back then. Well, we're not in that day and time anymore. So racism, in my opinion, it doesn't exist today. Yes, prejudice does, but the idea that you are being held back by some unforeseen force is just idiotic at this point. No one is stopping you from going to college. No one is stopping you from pursuing any career path that you choose. No one is stopping you from marrying anyone that you choose to fall in love with and marry. That's just not something that is protected by law today. In fact, there are laws against things like that. So, redlining and things that used to happen back in the day, that stuff, it's unheard of nowadays. And I myself am a successful, I guess you could say, biracial woman. But I mean, for all, stated purposes, just knowing where I came from and the neighborhood I grew up in, the family that I mainly associate with, I consider myself black. Doesn't matter the way I talk, doesn't matter the light-skinned thing that you see, this skin covering that's over my body, doesn't matter. My life has been that of a black woman, okay? And nobody can tell me different because they haven't walked a day in my shoes. So, I don't know. I personally may not agree with the fact that you have people like Just Pearly, who is unmistakably white, making comments that may offend black people. I don't agree with it. But one thing I do understand about America is she's protected, again, under the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech. And that's not racist. That's just an opinion that you don't like to hear. And so, let's move on.
They not anybody that's from Ohio, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Chicago, Indianapolis, St. Louis, anywhere in the Midwest could tell you they don't deal with us. They indifferent towards us. Sometimes racism could be a look. If I come around and I'm minding my own business and you watching me like I'm gonna start something or steal something, that's racism.
See what I mean? He's misusing the word racism again. That's prejudice, sir. That's not racism. They have to be withholding some kind of product from you, stopping you from going somewhere, stopping you from doing something. Somebody looking at you and prejudging you based on how you look has nothing to do with racism. That's called prejudice, okay? Again, this is my main problem with a lot of black people today, but let's let them keep talking.
Especially if you don't do it to other people. You're just doing it because I'm black. A suburban white woman is not the one for this space because they don't deal with us. They don't even like us like that. You know how much you have to put up with to work some of these jobs in the Midwest? Y'all don't have no clue. You could be minding your own business. They'll do whatever they got to do to make you look incompetent with the job to get you out of there. I was building generators for a company and all the numbers was up. We had just had a meeting talking about how good we was doing and they laid me off. And I was the only one that got laid off. I don't want to hear no white people talk about slavery. I don't care if you married to somebody white. If me and you is friends and your wife is white or your husband is white, I don't want to talk about reparations, slavery, or any of that. Jobs, like prejudice, injustice. Now, they can listen, but I don't want to hear them talk because they don't know what it's like. Then you got all this grifting going on. Tommy Sotomayor don't even like black people. He does stuff to agitate us, like how he's interviewing Pearl. Do not click the like or dislike button. If you rolling with us, do not click the like or dislike button. Don't even super chat to say something. Don't give dude no money.
I mean, do you hear this? It sounds like he's completely jealous of Tommy Sotomayor. Maybe because he got to talk to Just Pearly Things and he'll never have the chance or something. That's what it honestly sounds like to me, because Just Pearly Things is, I guess, this white woman who has made herself a lane within the manosphere. She says things a lot like Kevin Samuels, so I can't disagree with a lot that she says at all. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth hits home, and a lot of people don't like to hear it. And I'm beginning to notice that it's a lot of black people that kind of walk around with this super defensive attitude to where you honestly can't challenge them in any kind of way, shape, or form. They don't want to hear anything at all from anyone, even other black people. And so Tommy Sotomayor, being as unmistakably black as he is, deals with a lot of backlash because he's not a part of the majority of black people who want reparations, who want to scream and cry racism every chance they get, who don't understand that white people are honestly getting tired of how this country has been going for the last probably maybe 20 to 30 years, where it's almost like the role has been reversed. Like, black people can scream Black Power, Black Lives Matter, Black this, Black that, but white people can't feel any sense of pride in their being white. Like, it's racist to feel proud about being white. It's racist to have an opinion that is in any way, shape, or form negative against a black person. And I understand where it comes from, because black people have been in the past disgraced, humiliated, shamed for being just brown, and that's not right. But that's not what it is anymore. It's not because you're black, sir, that people have prejudice against you. It might be because of how you're acting. It might even be your own like aura that you give off. If you walk into a place and you feel like people are going to look at you because you're black and they're all white, then they're going to feel that energy from you. They're going to be like, oh, well, why is he acting suspicious? You know, it'll make them look at you. But if you walk into a place confidently, knowing that no matter who is there, black, white, man, woman, I belong here, and these people are going to be nice to me and I'm going to be nice to them, then more than likely you're going to have a more receptive attitude from the people around you. But when you act standoffish and weird, then they'll act standoffish and weird towards you. You kind of get what you put out in this life. And I think a lot of people need to understand that. And this dude is probably much older than me and still doesn't understand that, you know, a lot of the things that you experience in life is because of how you perceive it yourself. If you're walking around with a negative attitude about white people, and the minute you get around them, you start acting funny, then they're going to act funny towards you right back. Like, but if you're comfortable, you're calm, you're nice, you're open, you're receptive to them, you'll get that same energy back. I've seen it happen a million times, and it has nothing to do with you being black. He's not the best looking guy in the world, obviously, but it's all about your attitude and how you come off. If you're walking into a place of business and you see a white face behind the counter and you walk up without a smile, you walk up defensively or like you don't really want them to wait on you, then they're going to feel like, well, I don't really want to wait on them either. Like something is different about them. They seem mean or they seem off. Life is what you make it. Point blank.
He got booted off of YouTube, and I actually felt sorry for him. Dude is a clown and a white exalter. I exalt the Most High. I don't exalt people. I'm not going to exalt white people. I don't exalt people. You're not better than me. Ain't nothing special about you. Just a fact. And that's not coming from a hate standpoint. It's coming from a factual, enlightened standpoint. Tommy Sotomayor, the other day I was in his live and I heard him say, white people are better than black people. Ain't nobody better than nobody. Some people just have better cars, better clothes, better neighborhood, made better decisions, but you're not better as a person.
And that's another one of those contradicting statements. So this person has better clothing than you, a better home, a better neighborhood. They have better cars. They probably got more income than you, a better lifestyle. They make better decisions, and yet they're not better than you. Interesting.
I'm going to roast you for being a sellout, being an Uncle Tom, being a grifter, being a glorified panhandler. And Tommy Sotomayor definitely is. You are a glorified panhandler, sir. Ain't nothing talented about you. A panhandler that takes some of his money and goes and buys himself a car, a house, some clothes. That's what they are. But she says that we shouldn't get reparations, though. Why does she care? This is what I don't like about some of them. And like I say, I don't hate them, but here's one of the things I don't like about a lot of them. They always commentating on black people. But then, bam, racist statement. They make their living off of us. And then who they really are comes out. Man, Anton Daniels is a joke. The fake wannabe Rick Ross. You can't be Rick Ross. Your name is not Rick Ross, so you can't be Rick Ross. I go out of my way to be a unique individual. The way I look, the way I dress, the way I act.
The way you look and the way you dress. This man just literally said he goes out of his way to be a different kind of person. And yet he comes on camera, barely even showing himself. We can only see a corner spot of his face. And what we're seeing, I mean, I'm not even trying to be mean or anything, because like I'm not the best looking person in the world, obviously. But I mean, like, bro, like you have this hat on, your fro, clearly hair that's uncombed creeping out at the bottom. You're not very attractive in the face. I'm just gonna say it. And then, his teeth are kind of messed up. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but you go out of your way to make yourself seem like a unique individual. And like, what way? Like Bozo the Clown or something? Like, I'm just confused.
This dude think he Rick Ross, man. Only difference between him and Rick Ross, I can't see Rick Ross ever agreeing with Pearly or saying the stuff that Anton Daniels said. Show me one time Rick Ross bowed down to whites. I had something on my face the whole time. I ain't re-recording. Y'all know I don't care. I had something on my face the whole time. So? What that mean? So that make what I'm saying not true? So what though? What you gonna say? Oh, he had something on his face. What that was? Toothpaste. And my teeth might be crooked, but they whiter than yours, Tommy. He trying to agitate us.
Oh my God. See, this was a completely pointless video. It's hate against apparently Tommy Sotomayor, hate against Anton Daniels, which I don't know a whole lot about Anton Daniels. I've tried to watch some of his podcasts, but to be quite honest with you, I don't like the type of shows that have 8, 9, 10 different people talking at one time. I find it not interesting. I can deal with like one-on-ones, maybe even 3 people tops, you know what I'm saying? But I don't do group discussions like that. Like, to me, they're really hard to follow. I feel like someone's always just sitting there quiet, not even getting a chance to say anything. And then I hate when people like interrupt. I find that to be the most rudest thing ever, but I get that that's what happens when you're talking to like 8 people. But I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, you will never see me on a podcast with like 9 people. Like, no. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me personally, or maybe like one other person, like 2 people, that can talk to me tops, but I'm not talking like 8, 9 different people because, again, I find it very rude when people interrupt me when I'm speaking. So that's just not my thing. I don't watch Anton Daniels, so I don't know anything about him. But I do know a lot about Tommy Sotomayor because I've been watching him for years. And one thing I can say is, do I agree with everything the man says? No. Do I agree with everything Pearly says? No. But for the most part, what she says is pretty true. And it's actually nice to see a millennial woman saying the things that she's saying because I agree with a lot of what she's saying. Like the stuff about these modern women and how they have unrealistic standards. Yeah, a lot of it is true. Tommy Sotomayor, the things he says about black people and how, you know, sometimes black people can be unruly, hard to get along with. The type of people that are quick to anger. You can't say anything to. They get all defensive. Stuff like that. Obviously true. You got a guy that has been watching these, YouTube giants from the sidelines and apparently is offended by the things they say, so much so that he gets in his car and decides to make this crummy little video. And, like, sir, you don't look like this is just unprofessional completely. I'm sorry. Like, yes, the fact that you do have white crust in the corner of your mouth does kind of invalidate everything that you say because you're trying to talk about other people and you don't even look the part. Like, and then you're going to sit there and say that, your teeth may be crooked, but they're whiter than Tommy's. Like, oh my God, that's just so childish, number one. And two, it's probably not even true because Tommy actually has very nice teeth and they're straight, which yours are not. Yeah, just point that out.
Like every time you look up Tommy Sotomayor or Anton or Angry Man is talking about black issues and black people, knowing ain't none of them with us. They with Pearly, they with the whites. She gotta go. She shouldn't be in this space. And y'all steady keeping her in there. Just Pearly, Tommy Sotomayor, Obsidian, Anton, Anton Scamios, Bipolar Angry Man, and Donovan Doe. Because I've heard extensively things that all of those people I named have said. They're grifting against black people still supporting them. Y'all weird.
No, what makes this video weird is the fact that you're, again, some weird looking guy just sitting in his car making this video like you've been stalking all those different people in the sidelines. Like, obviously you know a lot about them and the things that they say, and yet you don't like them. You do realize that every time you click on their videos that you're supporting them low key and giving them a view, which actually puts them more into the algorithm and then allows other people to then see their videos and begin to click on them as well. And I'm pretty sure white people in general don't really give a crap about, what these black people say. I mean, I'm just saying, like, white people got their own channels. They got their own issues that they talk about. Like, the black community is the black community. Like, for the most part, it's black people. Like, if you ever look at the comment section of like some of these large black YouTubers, you rarely see white faces. I mean, every now and again you might catch a black face or a white face in there where they're making a comment or they actually like what they're hearing. But for the most part, the black content is for black people. And so it's interesting that you would say that they're grifting against black people because, in my opinion, they're trying to influence them in a more positive way, getting away from the baby mama culture, getting away from acting ghetto and being the kind of people that are unruly and uplifting stupid things. I mean, you have a lot of black YouTubers like Kevin Samuels who was trying to open up a lot of women's eyes so that they could turn around and actually get in relationships and get married. You've got black YouTubers who are successful and try to then lead other black people to financial success instead of uplifting, buying Michael Jordans and, chains and things of that nature. Like, you got a lot of black people that are talking about investments and being, overall good people. Like, I want to say the guy's channel is named Please Act Right. He's a older black gentleman who puts out a lot of information about black people and how they can actually be better towards one another. I mean, you have a lot of Black people who provide wisdom for the Black community, and they do it in different ways. And I appreciate that variety that we can get. Like Tommy Sotomayor does it in what I would call a funny way. Like he makes you laugh, but he also gives you a life lesson. But you have to be open enough to understand and hear it. And it's unfortunate that his, newest channel got, it seems, either shut down temporarily or shut down altogether again. I don't know. You guys leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this whole thing, what you think happened to Tommy Sotomayor's channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I appreciate you for watching so very much, and I will see you next time.